taxi stand. But we scoured the place. And I asked a couple of the railroad workers, and they said, oh no, we had to patch those up because of the sprinkler system. So there's nowhere in our parking lot we can plug something in.
That's, I think that's most stations, nothing in White Edge, it's
What?
close. Nothing in White Edge either, in a lot of stations.
Yeah, we
They
don't
have
have,
nothing now.
we don't necessarily have chargers at all this, I mean,
Well, I mean a plug, I mean just
I know.
an outside plug, you know.
An outlet, you mean outlet?
Yeah.
There's really no outlet anywhere.
Nope,
outside.
and the cab company will not let anybody in.
I'll take that under consideration. The new trains, the all new.
the MARC trains.
What?
Oh, the M9s?
Yeah, what's status with it?
I know it's moving along, I don't have,
Can you get us some?
Yeah.
What's happening with those? Ray, you want to tell us what happened at your design arts thing?
Yeah, it was actually very interesting. I thought it was gonna be boring, but it actually turned out to be pretty cool. It was a small group, but it was nice. We went over several artists' work that are being proposed, and
for which station that was?
Stuart Manor.
Oh, okay, yes, that's one of the hand stations.
I guess there's others, although they didn't give me the list. But
Again, there's 16, so if
they-
they're gonna get, one of them is all gonna get some artwork.
they tend to keep that list a little
No,
to themselves.
it was a big governor's announcement, like in January.
Well, maybe I asked them at the meeting, maybe because that was the first one I went to, I don't know. But anyway, but they did all the critiquing there and going over colors and abstract designs and so forth. And it was interesting to hear the history of these artists and how they've worked before on other MTA sites. So, so it looks like there's one chosen, although they said we couldn't discuss who it is. But it looks like it's narrowed down to this one particular artist. And that was the last I heard of it. So although I don't have specific names to give out, it was interesting to go to, and they said this group has been around quite a bit. Poonam is on that group.
Yeah, I mean, the way the Arts for Transit works is any big station renovation, there's a percentage that they get from the capital project, like, I don't know if it's 1% or
I think
whatever.
it's 1, I think it's 1.
Yeah, I saw something about 1%.
And they use that to get an artist and do some artwork.
I mean, I think it's a beautiful thing to do to the station. It may sound like, who cares? But you know what? It does enhance, and I think it will also bring up the spirit of, and I can see how a neighborhood would like to see something like that to their particular station. In fact, we're going to do something like that through the Nassau County Council of Civic Associations. We're going to start a campaign rating your station. And we're going to have like a sort of punch list for everything from the gap to the platform conditions to lighting to the stairwells, railings, and create this rating system per station. And then we put that together maybe within the next month or so. We're going to actually contribute that to the Long Island Railroad and let you guys know what we think about the stations.
I have the list, if you want the list of the stations, the 16 stations.
Doing what?
The enhancement,
art.
Yeah,
they're gonna get art and Wi-Fi and charging stations. So, the Nassau stations are Baldwin, Belmore, Farmingdale, Great Neck, Merrick, Stewart Manor, Syosset, and Valley Stream. The Suffolk stations are Brentwood, Deer Park, East Hampton, Northport, Ronkonkoma, Stony Brook, Port Jefferson, and Wyandotte.
And that's starting when?
The first one is Port Jeff, that's underway now. Stewart Manor is underway also. And then we're gonna, over the next 15 years.
As you redo the stations, that's when you're doing it? Well, why did when you redo this?
Yeah, that one's gonna be done as part of it. Other ones are just getting that. Other ones are just getting the enhancements. I mean, when we're there's other things we have to do also, so.
How are the mobile ticketing going?
It's going good, I mean, it's working. I don't know, I don't have the numbers,
I
but
don't
it's,
understand, I mean, when the scanners aren't out yet, right?
I don't know, I can't, I shouldn't be speaking about it.
Scanners are part of the old
We'd like
BTO.
that you guys spoke to us last time, you were saying that there was a pilot program for the scanners was starting, and, you're supposed to make it quicker. And less forgeries, right? So, for next meeting, can we get an update on what's happening with those.
But on a positive note, at least now you can use credit cards or something.
Yeah, they had to be a little
Yeah.
machine.
Little
Yeah,
machines.
Yeah, that's actually, that's actually.
And it
a
seems to
plus.
be working pretty good,
Yeah.
and there doesn't seem to be too much pushback from the conductors about it. They seem fine with it.
Yeah. I don't think they each have one, but there's
There's
definitely
like
one
one
on
on
the,
each
yeah,
train,
train.
there's one on each train,
Yeah.
yeah.
The scanners are part of the OBTIM devices, and they're just waiting for all the conductors to have them before they start using them.
Do you have a status with the Huntington, it's the elevator they're replacing, right?
The town is replacing one of the elevators.
Oh, so that's the town of Huntington's actually doing the
Town's
work
doing it.
It was
themselves.
a staircase, the overpass thing that we fixed, and now the
Okay.
town is.
So they're responsible for the elevator, not the
And
elevator.
as you guys may know, the Huntington was very aggressive in reaching out to us.
Yeah, I was wondering why they're being so cooperative, but
Reaching
it's
out
their
to us, telling
project,
us
okay.
that
Yeah.
the elevator was before it was going out, ideas that we had discussed ideas of how they should reach out to riders, and they were very, very aggressive in utilizing us, reaching out to us on the best ways to get the best we do it. So they ended up asking us different options, and one of them was a survey. So we thought the best would be a survey, and they did the survey. Sent the survey to all the people saying, would you, the elevator's gonna be out this much time, would you rather do this, this, or this? I think that has really helped in the community, that people were asked their opinion, and they gave it, and there was a lot less outcry as a result. So I'm passing on to, once again, you guys. They included us, we were very helpful with them, and I think in the end, it helped them with the community, that they saw our input.
So we gave them a little dig on something, right? And at
Not
one
the-
point, they
not the
wanted,
town.
was
The
that?
town, no.
Yeah, didn't at one point they wanna give people a discount to go from one side to the other? And then when we said, are you crazy?
Right.
Then all of a sudden it was like, they'll have someone from public service actually drive the people around from one side to the other.
I think that's for anybody that needs.
Oh, yeah, no, for a handicapped person, they can't
Yeah.
go up that stairs.
Yeah.
Which was great, I mean, they didn't bitch and moan about it, it was like, yeah, you're right, and they included it right
So
away.
I'm just
which was-
passing along again.
Oh, yeah,
It's helpful to include us, and I think it helps you guys in the end, it helped them in the end, from not getting less of an outcry and having some, we had their back on it, so.
oh, yeah.
And that's good because, initially people just think of somebody who's handicapped in a wheelchair, but as people get older and they have a piece of luggage, they need that kind of stuff. And it's not that they necessarily have a handicap per se, but their arthritis is kicking in, or their knees are kicking in, and they need to have accessibility.
Can't walk the half mile.
Yeah. Is that you, Ira?
With luggage,
Yeah.
no, but I mean, that's what you see.
Yes.
And you're right, they don't.
And you think of it just as handicap.
One of the issues that they were concerned with is if they would get in the elevator, they had to move spots. So they moved spots closer to where the stands were and everything, but then they would displace handicap spot. I mean, they were really thinking about what do we do
To
for
double
people
it.
to be, and they were asking us to be involved, and then they did the survey, and they got to know some people. I mean, I think they did it the right way.
Yeah.
They thought about it, then they reached out with options, and it wasn't just, guys, tomorrow we're closing the elevators, what you doing?
Yeah, actually, I think we talked about that at the time. Did you talk about it?
I'm sorry.
I said, we had talked about that at the time, that was a while back.
So I think we've mostly been focusing obviously on this summer of heck.
Have you had any bad experiences on the train yet?
I have not.
I haven't heard anybody
But,
who
but
has.
for my train has always been as busy as before. My train's been as busy as
Is
before. It's
anybody
not
going to
us.
Hunters Point?
Yeah, yeah.
I go occasionally.
What time did you get there?
Throughout various morning hours and afternoon hours leaving, yeah.
Is
It's,
it
it's,
bad
it's a very
traffic?
bad station. I mean, it's old school. I told Poonam at that arts meeting, I said, I don't know why they didn't dress that up, knowing that that's gonna be one of those, terminal areas. You got those boards they got by the gap, they're like semi-collapsing, you can see through them. I mean, they're rotted wood. You got a lot of obstruction, people bumped out towards the edge
The-
because of the
The
obstruction
station,
that's
the
there.
station's in the capital program, actually.
Well, they
They should
probably
fix
should have had
that.
that done before.
I thought they knocked it out. They took the money from that, put it into something else.
No, it's in this, well, they weren't going to, that station, they had a plan to close it
No, I know.
because of East Side Access, but they've decided that that's not a good idea considering. development going on in the city.
If you look at all the building they're doing there.
Yeah, that's why they-
It's incredible. I mean,
Cranes
over the
all
last,
over the
over the
place.
last 2-3 years.
It's definitely a
just-
happening area.
Like when it was delayed yesterday that we used our buses,
Yeah.
we thought it was to bring them to the ferries. We got them off at Court Street or whatever.
Yeah.
So most of those people, they weren't going to the city, they were going to there. So
Downtown.
Oh,
used
they're
our-
going to Court Street.
yeah, so we made an extra, we brought them to Court Street.
They might have been taking a different subway. You could take a subway to Court Street.
Is there any movement, you know, we did something
take
with
the
the
E,
borough
yeah.
borough president of Brooklyn about East New York?
Not the F.
Is there any movement on either fixing that station or making it presentable?
Well,
Anything?
we had just done some stuff last year to make it a little more presentable, so it was a lot worse.
Bradley was there, don't even say that the Bradley was
No,
there.
it's not a good, it's not an attractive station.
Which one?
East New York.
East New York.
New York,
Yeah, you know, you can happen
Industrial.
upon the station and wonder if it's open, but that's.
Well, the really odd thing
I've
is
been there
the-
recently.
the
A few years
underpass-
ago, I was there, I was like,
Well,
Is the
I
station really
as I
open?
said to them, if you're the railroad, would you acknowledge that you own that if you were the railroad? That's what I said.
it looks.
I like this.
There's a point in the past that looked abandoned.
I like the ticket machine. The ticket machine has got like bars in front of it. It's like in jail. The ticket machine's like in jail, you know, there. I guess
So
everybody-
is
somebody's
there
gonna take it and
anything-
steal it.
Right now, no.
Well, it's an honest answer.
And a simple one.
No, 'cause we just did stuff, there was the stair, we did some staircase repairs, and we had spruced up the walls, but they're always getting vandalized and
Right,
stuff, so.
yeah, it's not, I mean, it's not a
Whatever we did
capital,
last year, you could, it's almost like we didn't
it's
do
not a
anything.
capital expenditure, but some signs on that underpass would be really
Sign-
nice. There's no signs at all.
Oh.
It doesn't tell what it is. I mean,
You mean,
you got a set of stairs that go down, that go somewhere, you don't know what they are, unless you live in an area.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're going to the doctor.
basically,
You have
that's
to
the point,
explore
everybody.
to know, yeah.
Yeah.
Not that Penn Station is that much better, but it's.
Yeah.
But this is
It would
zero.
be nice if nice to have a sign that said Long Island Railroad.
Speaking of the summer from hell, you know, in the winter, if we have really cold weather, really bad weather, they'll open the stations so people can get warm. Do they have any plans to do that if you get a really, 95, 100
no,
degree
we
days?
do that.
That's
When
been
is-
always my gripe, that's why Bella said it needed to be open year round.
No, when it's extreme weather, say we have a big heat wave, 95 degrees then they'll stay open just like in the winter.
No, because I just happen to know, I got off the train in Patchogue last week and we had a hot day. And, all these people and I'm saying it's 6 o'clock in the evening, and they close that station like at 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Crazy.
I mean,
You know.
they've been scaling back stations because there's been a lot of vandalism and stuff. So,
Well, we're gonna have the chief, police chief, we're gonna go through all that with him as well. As to why, is there any real justification for it?
I mean, most of it's coming from the police.
Well, that's why,
Yeah.
local
Yeah.
police.
I just, to me, subways are kept open and, I don't know.
But there are certain
To
areas
me, it's just horrible. I mean, when you're standing outside waiting for trains
Yeah,
and stuff.
we won the battle, it's now, things are changing, we've slipped back.
Yeah, but I mean, there are certain
So
areas.
what happens
where
when
you-
I don't come to a meeting and bug everybody on that?
No, we've all been on that issue for a while.
But then I'm sure there are certain stations where you can coordinate with local municipalities and maybe have their own people. Patchogue is a perfect example, maybe the police, but we have village code enforcement or whatever, and I'm sure if you reached out to Paul Pontieri,
Do you know, they have so
he
much.
would maybe, swing by there, because they have enough manpower, keep an eye on the station, I'm not saying all night, but keep it open till 7, 8 o'clock at night like it used to be.
You're absolutely right, because they have so much manpower in Patchogue that you know that you get trapped if you take, like, if I take a ferry back from Davis Park, they do not want you using anything except a Patchogue Lindy's taxi. And they have the police down at the ferry docks in case you get into another cab and they cite the cab and it's an expensive ticket. I actually have to walk to a friend's house and have the cab pick me up there. So if they've got manpower to do that,
Yeah.
surely they'd have manpower to sit at the train station.
So like you, Mark, Town of Babylon, they just reached out to me 2 days ago, asking that we close the station building because of criminal activities.
Crazy.
But that was their request.
Yeah.
You know what I think?
So I don't think we're gonna just close it,
Well,
but
most, you know what, a lot of towns ask you to close them, because it's your black eye, not their black eye when you close it.
yes.
It's not
No,
the
I know.
town closing it, it's the railroad closing it, it's easy for them to ask that.
Put up a sign. the town of whatever, big letters, town of so-and-so, call so-and-so. And we'll see what happens.
Well, you get a station like Babylon, that's a hub station. I mean, we have people, and I'm sensitive to it because of the transfers. You have people that miss transfers.
Yep.
And then you're stuck because the next train is an hour away, so you're stuck there for an hour. And if the station's closed, you're stuck in the cold.
I always remember a number of years ago, I took pictures, I probably told you folks, I was in Huntington, and 2 police came off and they went inside. We were all standing outside in the rain. I took out my phone and took pictures of it. And the cops came out and they said, what are you taking pictures of? I said, people that are inside while I'm on the outside.
What they say to you?
We're under instructions not to let anybody in. I said, I didn't say it was your fault. I said, I'm just taking pictures of you dry there and us wet out here. And there was about 25 people. It was around 9 o'clock at night.
All right, so we're gonna have to revisit the issue again. We'll have to
Yeah, I mean,
meet
these-
guys, let's go through it again.
You know what I think some of it is? You get 1 or 2 homeless people and someone says, there's a homeless person there. And you know what? They're not necessarily doing anything wrong.
We've gone through, this is an
Yeah.
old issue.
They're
We'll
not
do this
doing
again.
that.
I don't wanna-
But you get some folks that walk through who are angry, or look at some of the messes at the end of the train line, like in Ronkonkoma.
Yeah.
When that train pulls into Ronkonkoma, it is foul, and those are commuters.
Yeah.
But you get a problem in a train station, and it's presumed that it's somebody homeless.
Let me just, before this, I just wanna go into the bit that, everyone read my report, Owen has stepped down after
Yeah.
8 years. So we have 1 Nassau, 1 Suffolk, and Brooklyn, which I don't know what they're doing.
2 Suffolk.
Well, we have a name that's going.
Oh, well, yeah,
So-
it's still, yeah.
That name's
Check to
going up,
make
so
sure
we
it
have-
gets there.
But it will, so that seat will be
Yeah.
filled. So I just want to be outdoors for no people,
So Maureen is down.
Yeah, no,
For a
Maureen's,
while.
yeah, Maureen's gone.
so.
We're gonna get a mention in the sea truck thing.
So I'm just passing out that
Oh,
council
thank
to
you.
know people, just to make sure that,
Appreciate that.
be aware of that. Before we close out, did you want to say something, Jerry?
Yeah, probably more of an IRA thing than a Hector thing. The MTA reorganization or the stop.
I have no idea.
So in other words, it's just,
I'll email everyone as soon as I know. I'd love to know too, there's a 30-day thing.
yeah, so we gotta wait till after the 30 days and they'll, but I mean, they are,
When
they
they
are,
announced that like 2 weeks ago, didn't they? No, 30 days didn't happen.
we should be like halfway through it, I think, but.
I should know next week. I should know
I
next
think
week.
it was when, right after Loda got in, it was like a couple of days after he got in.
I've got one issue I'd like to mention if this is the right time.
Sure.
We'll get ready to go out the door, so yeah, I guess.
Oh, well then I guess I won't bother mentioning.
No, go
it.
ahead.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, that's
Just
why.
kidding, yeah.
Well, this is kind of a really horribly bad, interesting situation, and I've seen people doing it. I, for example, on my phone, if I want to record what my screen is doing on my phone, I can make a video and I can email it to somebody. I've watched a number of times somebody recording their ticket for 15 seconds, emailing it to their friend, and their friend, they both show the same ticket. I don't know what the solution of it is, but I've seen it happen a number of times now.
What do you mean, the
I
show?
just sat there and I watched it happen. The
Take like a
conductor looks
screen
at it,
grab
sees
of
the bar going
the
back
ticket.
and forth.
Mobile ticketing?
Yeah, yeah, they take like a screen grab of their
On the
mobile
mobile
ticket
Well,
and then email
so that's the
to,
scan is supposed to stop, right?
yeah, that's the,
Yeah, because once it's scanned, it's
Yeah.
gone. If someone else scans it,
They
like
know they've
even a
already
few
scanned
seconds
it.
later, it's.
And also picture, it's
Right.
be accurate
Right,
to scan.
it has to be, yes.
So what they did is they took a 15-second video.
That's
of
right,
their
you're right.
Little bar going across.
Yeah.
They hold it up. He sees the bar moving and he moves on. I don't
Right,
know what-
no, you're exactly right.
Yeah, definitely.
A visual inspection is not sufficient to avoid that kind of fraud, and we knew this was gonna happen.
So when is the scanning rolling out?
That's why that was asked.
Our presentation, but when is it happening?
We're gonna come back with
Well,
that.
that's what I asked earlier, Brian, he's gonna come back with the answers first.
I thought,
It's supposedly the middle of August, and they expect.
I was
all
gonna
the
say, I thought it was
conductors
this
to have-
summer.
Yeah, they expect all the
When they
conductors
first
to have
announced this.
machines ready.
Alright, when they first announced this,
We should know by our next meeting in August. Right? We should have an answer, right, by Mr.
Yeah, only because the only reason I bring up, there's a group of guys that I see whenever I take a certain morning train, and I know every morning they're doing it, because I hear them talking about it. And, oh yeah, I'll mail it to you today, I'll buy the ticket today and I'll email it to you. and they do it every single day,
Oh, wow.
apparently.
I want people to know, at the board, I didn't mention this, but there was a level of dispute about the discount. And it's not about whether it's 25% or not, because they just announced it the day before, no one was really looking, but the issue was more or less some of the city members, or even the new board members had said, well, are we establishing a bad precedent? If we're gonna have to give a discount when there's some problem here on the Long Railroad, we should be giving a discount, like for L train riders next year, or M train riders this summer. So that issue was raised. I thought, you know, I said honestly that both Mitch Pally and I both said there's no problem with giving us a discount for a short amount of time. For anybody who has a serious inconvenience, and that should be certainly considered as a policy of the MTA going forward. So.
That sounds nice.
I mean, you're mainly
At least
trying,
it's-
in a large part, you're trying to influence behavior, you're trying to keep people from going to Penn Station.
Right, that's what this is, yes.
I mean,
That was
it's not,
another thing,
it's,
right.
yeah, I mean, it's it's not entirely charitable.
Well, the same thing, I had people aware, there's a whole series of things that was all announced, it was on the website, it was in everything. There's also bridge and tunnel issues too. There's the trucks in the middle of the night get half price. And I don't know what that's, I'd love to see at the next board meeting if you have a report about that. I'd love to see if that had anything. Because previous to
How
this
much does it
experiment,
cost? How
and
much
I
does
call
it
this an
cost?
experiment, what, trucks?
Yeah.
Oh, fortune. I don't
They
know,
cost
50,
a fortune, that's what we're told.
Yeah, $50,
It's like-
$60,
yeah, it's
like
like
crazy.
$60.
A night, a trip?
One trip, yes,
Yeah.
yes, oh, yes.
$50 a trip?
Well, it's based on the
Yes.
hours.
It varies by the number of axles.
Well,
How
those things are
How much
heavy.
does it cost? To a bridge?
$8,000.
Oh,
$8,000.
$15.
That's what's.
One
That's
way
around
or
trip.
trip?
16.
That's
This is-
around,
Yeah,
that's
that's
around
right,
trip.
that's
It's like
right.
$8 or $9.
That's
Unless you live on
Arizona.
Staten Island, then
That's
they
in
pay you.
Arizona, that, right?
This is
No.
when you know I really don't drive.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, you know what, the thing is, most people don't know who even use it because you have the Easy Pass, unless you look at your Easy Pass statement, know what you're actually paying.
Yeah, they don't even post it.
Yeah.
They used to post it just as you went in. They did away with that years ago.
So that's, but that, you know, I think in the next fare increase, we're gonna have maybe a discussion about that. Maybe we should be prepared for that. I'm not sure. And
Is
there's this experiment about southeastern Queens, which may or may not happen in October or going forward, of people of giving people a better fare who are going to Brooklyn or within New York City, you know. That's and I guess this is part of that, in some ways, unknowingly, this is part of that experiment, to see if you can influence people
No,
to go out like that.
How
Just
about,
ask a personal favor. You get back to the board, there were a lot of people who were upset, you know.
Yes,
you
I
say,
know.
"Wait, just make it 25%, don't."
Well, they weren't gonna
It's-
make it 25% because the easy way to do it was that zone shift,
Yeah,
is
but.
what they did. They should have said what it was,
Yeah,
and not said 25%.
but it was disproportionate to the single riders or round trip versus a monthly
Yes.
rider, you know, I mean, we were 17.65 or something out in Patchogue. You know, so, and that's where I heard about it, because a lot of my people
Because
complained.
the discount, because when they did fare increases, they've been
Yeah.
changing that and other fares too, that's what makes it.
has
If
anybody-
you're, if
The
the
closer
discount,
you are, the more difference it makes.
yeah, because the farther out fares are not that different.
Oh, yeah, 'cause you got some zone threes, 36.38%, you know,
Right.
so it's like, wow, we're getting in the neck, so.
Has there ever been any discussion with fares about stopping the crap with charging seniors full fare in the morning? This is the only,
Oh,
this is the
peak,
only, yeah, this is the only railroad
to
on the
charge the
Metro
seniors
North
peak.
that charges seniors peak. I travel all over the country, this is the only railroad,
There's people who testified at public hearings about it.
but that's as far as it goes.
Yep.
And I'm
I'm
always
thinking
Especially
English.
considering the crowd, and the answer to that is always the crowding.
This is in England, it's the United States. and
Oh, I
nowhere else
know, but
they
I'm
do it.
just.
Yeah.
And nowhere else do they do it. I've been on every
Yeah.
commuter train in this country, Canada.
Right. MTA does the same thing on express buses, by the way, too. On transit side.
Just in the morning?
Yeah, just well, no, they are actually in any rush hour.
Well,
See,
that's
that's
like.
what I don't get, is why the morning and why not the
Because
afternoon?
they're
Just-
trying to discourage seniors from using the trains in the morning.
And same with handicap.
Yeah, the evening's more spread out, so.
You could always use it in the afternoon, but not in the morning.
Would that be something this board should take up? represent the riders.
Well, we've asked the question before, we don't understand it,
I should know this, what is the policy on pets on the train?
Dogs, I know, you see a lot of dogs coming out disabled that are going over the
Not so much
beach.
disabled, talking about just general
Well, I
policy.
mean, certainly guide dogs,
I'm not saying those. I'm
Well,
saying
guide dogs are
general policy.
allowed, but
wherever your
Supposed
eyes
to be in
are.
a cage or something, it's supposed to be in some.
in a carrier, unless it's a guide dog, unless it's
Yeah.
an assistant.
Yeah, guide dog is
within a container, but I've seen some pretty big ass
Yes,
dogs.
that's why
you
I'm
know.
asking, yeah.
Yeah, the head sticks out and you can see the, yeah.
Getting out in Sable, they're going over the beach, and getting out in Patchogue, they're going over to
They're
David's Dock.
They're bigger than the bicycles, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they make a bicycle look like it's a baby?
All right,
Well,
let's-
that is an issue, the railroad carrying it, people bringing luggage and things, large things on the railroad.
well, large animals, I think, is, I've seen more than I've seen in the past.
Oh, that reminds me, Hector,
Yes.
we have an informal promise from somebody in public relations that they will make the announcement or that all trains, or all Hampton-bound trains, you gotta be cognizant of your luggage. I mean, because it drives us nuts that it's the cannonball, watch your luggage on a cannonball. What about the rest of us, you know? How about the people in the 430 at Hunter's Point? You know, we're tripping over luggage and people, it should be uniform. Everybody should, you know, bring normal sized luggage, either get it in the overhead rack or get it under the seats.
But you know what's really tough, like when people come in off the JFK plane, I mean, this is really tough. I mean, on the Macapa train, there is one seat in between where there's a two-seater seat across from the conductor's chair where a big piece of luggage can go.
Yeah.
There's nowhere other than that where people can put their big luggage.
We're getting, people think we'll be that many, but you're right, we're getting icy too.
It's ridiculous.
Oh,
There's a lot of people.
What do people do?
You see loads of people coming off that air train going to, getting on trains to Jamaica.
I'm going to them, I am on a train going
Yeah,
to.
the increase.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's.
I mean, I see them a lot going to.
I mean, what do you
And they always
tell?
put the suitcases on the seat. They automatically do that.
Because they don't know what else to do.
And the overhead's not big enough for it to fit.
It's
And then-
not.
No,
No, that overhead's not for big
Oh,
luggage.
I thought it's not.
It's a commuter train, and no one ever, you know, they didn't design them to carry much luggage. But they have these links to the airport, relying on the railroad.
Before
So,
we go ahead.
now, by the way, you know, the buses that the MTA has that do go to LaGuardia Airport, and I don't know about the ones to Kennedy, I know the ones to LaGuardia, they change them and there's places to put luggage.
Well, look
Oh,
at
no,
the air
they
train
retrofitted those
itself, the air
buses.
train is built to.
Well, that's, yeah, but I meant,
Have
I
no
meant
luggage.
the MTA providing service. They cut luggage from because
It's
of
actually,
yellow.
I actually came out of Transit Riders Council and talked to Joe Smith when he was there and said, why don't we just put luggage racks in? He did it.
Is the air train to LaGuardia happening? Is that a happening project?
There's a lot of discussions that they're working on it, but there's not a final project yet. There's no start.
I don't even know if there's money in the capital program for that. Is there? Is that an MTA money thing? Who's paying, it's a Port Authority
I
project,
don't
isn't
think
it?
so, but there's
I remember
MTA,
seeing it.
it's some of the work at
At Willets Point.
Willets Point
was supposed to
or
be an elevator.
is
Yeah, it's in
connected-
conjunction with, but
is
Willets
connected to
Point
that, but
was supposed to
so-
be changed and made accessible and that
Yeah,
station
yeah,
renewed, and
and
then this was kind of thrown in.
This got thrown in and it sort of mucked up everything as far as
Yes, it did.
forward.
Yes, and I know, I heard from someone that the MTA is being asked if they could run 15-minute headway service to Willets Point to connect with this thing. I heard this months ago, but I don't know. I haven't heard a thing since.
I'm sure the 7 train runs about that often.
Hector, I noticed in the stations our signs are long gone, so can we get them put back up, our signs?
Oh, you need
Community
more?
council signs.
Yeah.
Can we have another run through, put
Yeah.
them back up again?
You can send me the artwork again?
Yeah, I can send you,
We've got
if people are,
signs. Oh, we have signs.
we've got, yeah, a limited
print
number,
them.
limited number.
Send me the
I'll
artwork
send
and
you,
then
I'll send you
print
the
it.
artwork, everybody's,
We'll use that term broadly, artwork.
yeah, we'll take a look at it.
Listen, it won, the Arts
Make
and
sure it's
Design
all
Committee
okay.
approved it, right?
Yeah.
Didn't it?
Have for art, offer transit, make it.
Yeah, we could have it,
Yeah, I
maybe
mean,
we could have it in state class.
So they want
Yeah,
to look
yeah,
at the
yeah,
abstract,
yeah.
the abstract design. But a lot of stations still have the old Long Island Railroad Community Council signs up. Is that part of the branch manager? Shouldn't he be verifying that?
Used to be.
We'll
You
get
gotta
them
get
out.
Peter's butt about that.
Don't forget to change the address.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Because ours still say
I
347.
know, I know they do. That's what I said, there's a couple of things that have to be changed, but we'll.
Also, they all have to be changed, really.
Yeah, they will, yeah.
So just-
Yeah, because they still say 347 Madison, which is where we were when they went up, so, yeah, there's a couple of things that need to, I'll get, I have to get Angela to go do her work with the design on it.
Well, he has a bad choice, okay.
Anyways, anything else before we adjourn?
I have, my choice is a Huntington or a Great Neck train.
That's not on the agenda. Anything else to?
What do people think?
Move to
Motion to adjourn? Any seconds?
Second,
Everybody wants to leave.
any opposed?
I'd like to see you to make up the meetings that I missed while I was teaching. I apologize,
Hey, guys,
folks.
you can help today 'cause it's lightning and thundering out east.
Oh, wow.
Where at East, Larry?
The weather report.
Yes.
By us.
For him, he's NASA, everything's.
Yeah,